I'm coming in hot.
Hello, everyone. My name is Godson, and I am excited to be here today to talk to you about one of the most important skills for any engineer, which is report writing. As you know, all engineers often face complex problems that require careful analysis and solution. So in this presentation, we are going to explore the key elements of effective report writing and learn how to present your solutions in a clear, concise, and professional manner. Whether you are new to report writing or you are looking forward to improve your skills, I am confident that you will find something valuable and useful in this presentation. So today, our main focus is to talk about the description of the problem. And secondly, we will talk about the solution of the problem. Today is day 5 of CENG in 7 days, powered by NKay Study. So I'll be your tutor for today. Let's dive in and get started. So, first thing we are supposed to talk about is the description of the problem, right? Good. But then when you are introducing it in your report, you don't just write the description of the problem. You just have to put it in a nice way, right? Which is something like nature and characteristics of the problem. So for the nature and characteristics of the problem, what do we expect? Let's look at the 5 key points we need to capture under this section, and let's give a brief explanation to it. When we are done, we'll go into a report and then we will try to relate the explanation we gave here to the one in the report. So, the nature and characteristics of the problem. The first thing you need is background and context. Background and context is a section that provides an overview of the history, the background, and the context of the subject or the problem or the topic being studied or analyzed. So it may include information on the origins, evolution, and significance of the what? Of the problem or of the subject or of the topic. Right? Good. So that is a brief explanation to that. And then we also look at key features and characteristics. Key features and characteristics. So in this section, what we are supposed to know is that it provides a detailed description of the characteristics of the what? Problem or the subject being discussed in your report. Right. Good. So it may include information on the topic's design, functionality, and some unique features. Some unique features. Amazing. So that is it. Then you should also include trends and patterns. Trends and patterns. So trends and patterns is very, very simple, right? When we say trends and patterns, what we are trying to talk about is that it's just a section that provides an overview of any relevant trend or pattern related to the problem being discussed. So sometimes you could realize that the problem you are discussing in your community follows some pattern. Let's say in every 3 months, you record about 7 cases of crime. You get it? So let's say 7-6. So you could see the trend, right? A trend will be created. So you could follow that trend and then capture it under a nature and what characteristic of that problem. Very simple. Then we also have visual aids. So when you look at the left part of this template, what you could see is that you could see some charts here, and then you could see some tables here, right? Good. So what we are trying to talk about visual aids is that it's just a section which includes graphs, charts, or diagrams to help illustrate key points and provide a visual representation of the subject. So these visual aids can help the readers to understand and interpret the data or information presented in the report. So you see, during our reports, we did some questionnaires. We took some questions from the inhabitants of the community, right? Good. Now, when you're done, this is the section of the reports that you need to convert them into graph or into charts. You get it? So that you give us a vivid explanation of the statistical values of your what? Your research findings. Very simple. So what I would say is that overall, the nature and characteristics section of a report provides a broad overview of the problem or the topic being studied or analyzed, and then it sets the stage for the rest of the report. This is the point that sets the stage for the rest of the report, because when you start, you'll be talking about introduction, literature review. Do you get it? This is the main section. This is where we are talking about the characteristics of the problem in question, or the problem to be what? Solved. Very simple. You get it? So what I will say is that it also helps the readers to understand the context and significance of the information being presented in the report. And then it provides a detailed description of the key features and characteristics of the what? The subject, the problem, or the topic being discussed. So that is it. That is the fourth point. The fifth point is causes and effects. So these 5 points form the major, forms the major overview or the requirements of the nature and characteristics of the problem section. Very simple. So let's take a look at NKay's report and let's try to relate what we learned from here to that. So from NKay's report, what we would say is that when you take a critical look at NKay's report, you can see that this one is what? The nature and characteristics of the problem, right? Good. So you see, before you start with any write-up, you need to give a what? A background information. So that will be captured under the what? The background and context. That is the point. So he gave a background, yes. And then he also gave key features and what? Characteristics, key features. Look at something. He said something like, for clarity and credibility. Let me put a spotlight here. So he said, for clarity and credibility, exploration and visualization of the data was made with numeric descriptive measures, that is statistics and graphical analysis. Do you get it? Good. So here, you could see that he mentioned that 62 active participants formed the sample for this analysis. Do you get it? This is a key feature. It's very, very important, because all that you'll be doing, all the tables, the charts that we'll be doing should actually sum up to what? 62. So you could see here 62. When you get down, when you add, we'll be doing some additions, you end up seeing 62 what's the name, participants or inhabitants of the community. So it's a very, very relevant, you get it. So he included that as well. And then what I'll also say is that he included trends and patterns. So for the trends and patterns, you will see it here, the trends and patterns. So this is it, right? So this is the frequency of problem occurrence. And then you see here, he wrote blue is for noticed pattern, yes. Noticed pattern, no. You get it? So you see, in every problem, sometimes if it's a problem, it's a major problem in your community, then it means that there will be some trends or pattern inside. So you have to capture that in the form of a chart in your report. Very, very important. And then the visual aids, you could see tables here, you could see charts here. You get it? Very, very important. Very, very important. So you see, with these two things, this table and then this pie chart, we could explain a lot about visual aids and trends and patterns. When you add this chart to it, this one to it, right? Very, very good. So that is it. Very, very important. So yeah, I think NKay has made this report available. So when you read this, you understand it very well. So here, let me brush through things and let's move on from there. So from these 62 active participants, he grouped them into gender, males and females, and then according to age. Do you get that? Good. So this is a table which shows the what? The age and gender distribution of the participants, right? Good. And then this one is the urgency and importance of the problem. For the blue one, he said urgent and important, urgent but not important, not urgent but important, not important and not urgent, right? Good. This one is supposed to be not important. Very good. So you see here, the blue colored one actually has a higher percentage, which is 71%. So it means it is what? Urgent and important. According to the research he did, the questions he had in mind to ask the inhabitants of the community. When he asked, what happened is that they responded to him that that problem in the community is urgent and very important to solve. Do you get it? Good. So that is why it is what? 71%. So if your problem is urgent and important, then it means that that will drive you towards write the report on it, right? Very simple. That is it. So I believe we are done with the first side, which is the nature and characteristics of the problem. Good. So we are done with that one as well. So let's quickly move on to the next part. Let's quickly move on to the next part. So the next part, we'll be talking about solution of the problem. Solution of the problem. So for the solution of the problem, the first thing we'll be talking about is the introduction, right? The introduction. So the introduction, you need to capture these things. The first one is you would have to create a write-up to relate the solution of the problem to your program of study. The second one is that you would have to state clearly some sub-disciplines where your principles will be taken from. Then the next subtopic will be concept description. So for introduction, you would have to create the write-up on your own. Just follow the steps and then you would understand that. Now, take a critical look at the first point. You would have to create a write-up to relate the solution of the problem to your program of study. It is very, very important to note this because for the project, we were asked to look for a problem in your community and solve it with your what? Your program of study. Very simple. So that is why there is a section of the report that asks you to talk about your program of study. So here, I was not captured in this presentation. But when you look at NKay's report once again, after he was done with the nature and characteristics of the problem, when he stated the causes and effects, so causes of power outages, this is the topic, he explained each point. It's very important to explain each point relating to your community. Do you get it? It should be related to your community. And then he discussed the effects of the power outages. The next thing he did was he wrote about his program of study, which is mechanical engineering. So the next thing you would do is to write about your program of study. So about mechanical engineering, that is where you would have to explain what mechanical engineering is about. You provide sub-disciplines. The sub-disciplines of mechanical engineering, you can have applied mechanics, automobile engineering, a lot, industrial engineering, aerospace engineering, and a lot. You get that? So right after this point, you would have to move on towards the solution. Now, the solution, the first point is your introduction, right? Good. So you see, he said something here. Considering that energy systems engineering already indicated as a sub-discipline of mechanical engineering is concerned with energy conversion, designing power producing and power using machines, I came out with these concepts which stand a chance of tackling the issue of power outages in Cote d'Ivoire. So you see, it's very, very important. He's trying to relate a sub-discipline of mechanical engineering, or he's trying to relate mechanical engineering to how he would solve the problem. So you see that from here, he said, considering the energy systems engineering. So you know that energy systems engineering is a sub-discipline under mechanical engineering, right? It's a sub-discipline under mechanical engineering. So you know this, very simple, right? If you read it, you will find it. I don't want to read everything over here. When you read it, you'll find it inside. You see, so it's very, very important to do that as well. And then after he did that, what he tried to do is he went on to talk about the principles, where he is taking the principles from. So you see that he said that the concepts apply principles from engineering thermodynamics, renewable energy conversion, applied electricity heat transfer. Do you get it? So the next one has already also been talked about. Very simple. So this one is not anything that serious. He's just trying to give an overview or just a small write-up. Do you get it? Very simple. So that is it. That is it. Captured. 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 So the next thing he did was the concept description. The next thing he did was his concept description. So you could see that from here, he has talked about what? He has stated clearly some sub-disciplines where his principles were taken from. Do you get it? And then the first side, he created a write-up to relate the solution of the problem to his program of stake. Very simple. Very simple. So our next subtopic will be the concept description. Concept description. Concept description is also under the solution of the problem. Very, very important. So we are on concept description. Concept description. So one may ask, what is the meaning of a concept? When we say concept, what does it mean? A concept is basically an idea or thought that helps us to understand and make sense of the world around us, right? Very good. So a concept can be about big ideas. Very, very simple. And then concept, one thing I like about concept is that it helps us think and learn in different ways. You get it? It helps us what? Think and learn in different ways. Please capture this in mind. Capture this in mind. Concepts help us think and learn in different ways. So you get to a point where we wouldn't be using only one concept, because we are saying that concepts what? Help us to think and learn in different ways. So we propose different concepts to solve the problem. You get it? Very simple. And then they can help us come up with new ideas and solutions to problem. That is concept. Very simple. I like that word, concept. Amazing. So we would quickly move on to concept description, because we've explained concepts. So we are just adding another word, which is description, right? Very simple. So when we talk about concept description, it's a brief explanation or definition of a particular idea, concept, or theory. This type of description provides a clear and concise overview of the key elements of the concept and helps readers understand its significance and relevance. Very, very important. Last one I'll also talk about is that in a concept description, the writer typically provides a clear and concise explanation of the concept, including its key features, definitions, and examples. The description may also include information on the concept's origin, evolution, and relevance to a particular field or discipline. Do you get that? That is why CENG is for you, a program of study. Very, very important. So that is it. And then what I'll also say is that overall, a concept description is a brief and concise explanation. Do you get it? A brief and concise explanation of a particular what? Idea, concept, or theory. So because this one we are talking about topics or a problem in your society, then it means that you are giving a brief and concise explanation of that particular what? Way or that particular idea to solve that problem. Right, good. So that is it. That is it. So let's look at NK's report once again. So from here, you could see that he started with the concept description. Now, NKay is writing on power outages, right? Good. NKay is writing on power outages. So what I would say is that we are trying to what? Find a solution to that problem. So we would have to propose concepts, different concepts to solve that problem. You get it? Because as engineers, you see, engineers, we are trained to think in different ways. Do you get it? So you should actually have different ways to solve one particular problem, because there can be a problem that when you solve it in this way only, it wouldn't work. So you'd have to combine different concepts so that when you put them together, it could work effectively as a whole, right? Good. So you see, let's look at something. NKay is writing about power outages. So the first concept he proposed was community solar. And then he explained it. Do you get it? He explained it. He did some research about it. So this is just the background of the community solar. You get it? He made some research. He took some information from certain sources and then he placed them in brackets. Did you get it? Very, very good. Now, after the concept, what you have to do is that you have to describe the concept. Now, what you are doing, the description of the concept is how you would actually use that concept to solve the problem. Let's say with the community solar, he just described something. Let's read what is here. Community solar represents the next era in electricity generation and purchasing. So he's saying that a community solar project is a group of solar panels installed on a roof, carport or ground mount or ground mounts that generates energy for multiple, in quotes, subscribers. You get it? Good. So what he's trying to do is that basically, I don't want to read the everything here because it will be a waste of time. What he's trying to do is that he's trying to describe to the person who is going to read this report how he would solve the problem, which is power outages, with this concept. You get it? Very good. And then the next concept was, you see, he added some diagrams. You would have to add diagrams. It is very, very important. So how community solar works. And then the next concept was wind energy conversion, right? Good. So this is just an overview of it. And then the description. So a wind machine called wind turbine will be employed to use the power in the wind to generate useful energy. So you see, for the description of the concept, he is trying to tell you how you would solve the problem of power outages using this concept. The machines will be using, the processes he will go through to solve that problem. Do you get it? Good. So it is captured in two forms. You state the concept, you give an overview of it, and then you state how you would solve that problem with that concept. And then this one is biomass energy conversion. You get it? So he gave an overview, and then he gave a description of the concept. You get that? Good. And then energy storage system, blah, blah, blah. So you see, diagrams are very, very important. You would have to use diagrams to achieve your conceptual design. Very, very important. Very, very important. And then he did the description of the concept. Very, very simple. So you see, that is it. And now the next section will be conclusions and suggestions for further work. That is the main part, to be the conclusion. Very, very important. So you see, for today, we've captured the most important part of day 5. Right, good. So what I would say is that concept description is very, very important. Give concepts about 4 is very, very important. It's very, very important. Yes, because that is how we would be solving the problem. So you propose the concept and then you describe how you would use that concept to solve the problem. Very simple. Very simple. Yes. That is it. Yes. So I think we are done with today's tutorial. Right. So as simple as ABCD. This is the end. So in conclusion, I would say that effective report writing is crucial for engineers to effectively communicate solutions to complex problems. So by following the tips which has been discussed in this presentation, you can improve your report writing skills and become more effective problem solver. Thank you very much for participating in this lesson. Have a nice day. Stay blessed. Once again, my name is Godson, and this tutorial was powered by NKay Study.
I'm coming in hot.